Good morning and happy Friday, everybody. Well, we made it to the end of the week. The first actual full Sunday to, well, actually now it's Saturday, but point this first full week in November is just about over. And I don't know. I think if I would have had anything, yesterday wasn't a bad day at all, but if I did have a low, I would say the weather's just been all over the place. Right now, at least if you live in the Western Hemisphere, we're in that time of year where, yeah, it's fall, and yeah, there are and more cold days are coming than warm days, but we're getting lulled into a false sense of security thinking, hey, it's warm out, tonight it's going to be awesome. Seriously, today is going to be anywhere between 40 and 50 degrees. Tomorrow's going to be 49 for sure. That's not warm per se, but personally, considering that we're in November, I keep expecting it to be a lot colder than it is. So I guess my low would be that I'm a bit uneasy in terms of how sporadic the weather's been. My high, on the other hand, is yesterday I got invited to a party. A party that is happening 1 month from now, but I got invited to a party. I'm not going to tell you the deal. I mean, listen, as someone who was never invited to any parties in his teens, this is immensely satisfying for me. It absolutely is. Now I just made myself sad because now I realize I have to wait an entire month. And my act of kindness was, I know I held the door for some people. I did that. And here's the thing. I know technically this doesn't fall under an act of kindness, but it was kind of a slow day. Yesterday I was able to see my nephews for their birthday. That was great. Gosh. My twin nephews are 5 years old. In 5 years, a lot has happened for sure. And I can genuinely tell you that something about just choosing family in general really wasn't the smartest decision for me. The reason why I don't really talk about my nephews as much as I probably could is, listen, they're not my kids, they're my brother's kids. And if he doesn't want me to talk about them, I won't. Little does my brother realize that someday, years from now, I'll be still making videos and my nephews will find a way to watch them. He won't be able to silence them forever. So, I guess I can say I hope my nephews had a day filled with lots of hugs and kisses from their mom and dad, because it's their birthday, and never too old for hugs and kisses from mom and dad, whether they're 5 or 55. And technology's going to be better. My brother and his wife will be around long enough for that. So, also before I continue, I will say this. On Wednesday, I really did try and make an effort to spread the message of, regardless of whatever outcome the election was, if the person you pick won, don't be a dick. Just be humble. And I'm sure some like, well, what if there are other people who weren't going to be humble? Well, you know what? That just gives you an incentive to be better. Set an example for the future voters of America. Humble in victory, gracious in defeat. That's really all. That's what you should be teaching your kids. I mean, yeah, I know. Winning is everything. Whether it's voting for, the person you want in an election or winning in youth sports or everything between. I know winning is definitely important and it does build self-esteem. But at least with losing, you actually learn something. And of the things you do learn, one of them is how to be grateful for what you still have. At least that's what I've come to realize over the years. Speaking of losing, last night I was actually right about the Ravens winning. So now, for this week, I am, if I can bring the camera over. Where's the camera? 1-0. 1-0. Oh. Yeah, 1-0 for this week because the Ravens won. Now let's talk about hot ones because this is actually a very interesting episode for me. Now, here's the thing. Oh, I'm double saving my work. Hold on. Kids, double save your work, okay? Gotta remember to do that. So, here's the thing. I really didn't start getting into K-pop to any capacity until literally just over 2 years ago. When, believe it or not, I was watching Amphibia. And it's the penultimate episode of the series, All In, where Anne is fighting King Andreas. She's losing, but then everyone rallies around her, and they start playing Blackpink's "As If It's Your Last," and that literally turned the tide. Seriously, Anne wakes up like, "Well, hello there, sweet life-giving K-pop." From that moment on, I became obsessed with the song "As If It's Your Last" by Blackpink. And here's how much of a casual singing group fan that I am. I've said this before. I was 33 years old when I learned all the band members of NSYNC. So needless to say, I couldn't tell you who any of the band members of Blackpink are. I literally had to look that up on Tuesday when I was looking up who Rosé was. So, with that said, Rosé was on Hot Ones yesterday. And if you don't want to stick around, I'll just tell you right now, she did great. It was a great episode. I loved it. But, I also take these episodes of Hot Ones and learn things from them. Specifically, learn more about the guest who happens to be taken on the wings of death. Like, for example, the backstory behind her lead single. It's actually based off of a Korean drinking game called APT. And it's really weird. You kind of do a little bit of a dance and stuff like that. And in the end, someone calls out numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, let's say 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Whoever 6 is, they gotta take a shot. Actually sounds like a lot of fun. And they made that into a song. I know there have been a lot of songs in music history that involve drinking. But that derive from, drinking. Hell, there was one year where in the spring concert for choir, we had to sing All For Me Grog. Literally a song about beer. But a song based off of a drinking game? That is definitely unfamiliar territory for me. So that's interesting. She talked about how the ideal conditions for creativity. Well, here's the thing. as someone who clearly makes videos every day, this actually hit home for me in the sense that there have been a lot of videos I have made based off of how I was feeling. And sometimes it's been great. I've been feeling happy, I've been feeling positive. But there have been plenty of times I've made videos operating under, I don't want to say under the influence because that would imply I'm on drugs and I'm clearly sober. Basically, I've made videos when I really was feeling raw and heartbroken and, feeling vulnerable. But I can genuinely tell you that I've made plenty of videos that were good because of that. I mean, listen, me making videos every day really isn't anything that special, but it gives me an opportunity for those to hear my voice, to be creative. And no one's complained about that yet, so I'm going to keep doing it. They talked about the what underappreciated element, comes to play as to make the music group click. And obviously, just like the previous question, every group is different. Everyone's different. But in the case of Blackpink, all 4 girls just had desire and drive to get the things they want. And when you have enough like-minded individuals coming together, creating art, or working together to any capacity, you'd be amazed at what you can achieve. They talked about how a good singing voice, the jury's kind of out as to whether or not you're born with a good singing voice or it's something you have to naturally develop. Really, it's more of a combination of both. But then Sean proceeded to ask a question that I actually already know the answer to. He asked what's the difference between a chest voice and a head voice? And I know the answer to this one. As a tenor myself, I can tell you that if you're really trying to be, if I can say like this, that's definitely more of a head note. But if I really want to put some more this is like this, like that, you see? That was definitely my chest voice. So, in a lot of ways, I guess it's easy to say that if you're trying to belt out a high note with a little bit of extra power to it, that's your head voice. If you're trying to, really show off your range while adding power to that, that's your chest voice. At least that's what I think it is. I'm sure someone in the comments is going to say I'm wrong about that, but who knows? She talked about how she named her dog Hank after Tom Hanks, which that's pretty adorable. They talked about the process of becoming a pop star in Korea, where they have these camps in schools where kids work really hard and eventually you're chosen to go on stage or whatever, which sounds really interesting. She talked about how, Sean asked that it was her and fellow Hot Ones alum, Sela, I'm sorry, I forget the name at the moment, were the 2 Korean pop stars that have ever been featured at the Met Gala, which, you know what, I hear the event known as the Met Gala pop up a lot in pop culture and social media. Eventually I want to do a video as to what I would want to do and what I would wear if I went to the Met Gala. At some point I'll probably get to doing that. But with Rose, it was, they had a fitting. They thought the outfit looked great. And they went to the Met Gala. That's really all it was. Listen, I have never been to the Met Gala. There is a very high probability I will never get invited to the Met Gala. But I do know that if you go, in terms of what you wear and how your experience is overall, your results are going to vary. So, I mean, Met Gala, holla at your boy. You know, have like a regular average Joe like me go. I mean, obviously I would try and dress nice. Talking about what I would do at the Met Gala, that's a video for a different day. Actually, if you do want a Met Gala story, you should go to the Try Guys and watch Eugene talk about his, I think that video is still there. Watch Eugene talk about his experience at the Met Gala. It's actually a really interesting video. I recommend you check that out. She also talked about how Korean fashion is really flowing into U.S. pop culture, which is really fascinating. She talked about how the best vocal performances in the Disney canon is, for everything from Tangled, particularly when Flynn is about to die, that's what makes her cry. I made that rhyme. And for the last dab, she just drew a sketch depicting her experience taking on the wings of death. Which, I mean, obviously I can't show you the picture because I can't draw it verbatim. And I don't know if it's on the internet for the world to see yet. I mean, you can just find it. I mean, I'm gonna put a link in the Hot Ones episode in the description down below so you can see for yourself what it is. But this was a great episode. Honestly, that's what's so great about Hot Ones, at least from my personal perspective. If it's a celebrity that you know who it is, and you know some things about them, you know it's going to be a good episode. But if it's someone that you don't know, you wind up learning more about them, and that's what makes it so fascinating. I love that. I mean, look, I keep joking that maybe someday I'll be on Hot Ones. First of all, if that ever does happen, no one's going to be more surprised or happy than I will. I don't know what questions Sean would ask me. I don't know what listen, I'm about as transparent. Listen, I think in the last almost 7 full years that I've been making videos, I've been transparent enough where you learn quite a lot about me. But who knows? The good folks over at First Week Feast do their homework, and they brought out some deep cuts over the years. I hope y'all like this video. If you like, subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow me on social media. As always, I enjoy holding this video. For all of you guys watching, short video. If you have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Friday, remember, you guys want to talk to us, we're here to lend us. Always here back. Take care and make good choices. 607 all day, baby.